Hi everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Spiritual Mentor. My name is Nancy Bovair, and I just wanted to do a brief introductory video here to tell you all the reason why I created this channel and what you can expect going forward. So I started my spiritual journey a long time ago, back in the early 70s when I was about 14, 15 years of age. The traditional religions, the traditional belief systems just they didn't fit with me. So I started to explore other options. Now, during that time, there was not a lot available having to do with spiritual growth, anything having to do with anything spiritual outside of the religious realm. I struggled. I went to the library. I remember looking for things. And outside of some books by Ruth Montgomery and Edgar Cayce, there really wasn't anything available. So I did take those books. I did try to read and try to understand some of that. Edgar Cayce just did not resonate with me. Ruth Montgomery was interesting. She was, I believe she called it automatic writer. So she would channel messages that she got from spirit and she would write them in a book and translate them from there. So that was my first real experience with somebody that was actually communicating. I continued to go through whatever I could expose myself to, whatever I could find that would open up the doors to learning more about spirituality. Now keep in mind that during the 70s and the 80s, there was no internet. So there wasn't the accessibility to all of this stuff. And on top of that, there was a lot of stigma attached with anybody who was looking at anything through the spiritual lens as opposed to the religious lens. People were seen as a little bit maybe off the wall, or witchcraft is a word that comes back and haunts a little bit. With the advent of the internet, and thank goodness starting in the 2000s and now in the late 20, we're at 2019 now, there is a lot available. It is much more widespread. It is much more accepted. In fact, even the medical profession is now accepting the fact that when people have a belief in a higher power, they actually heal faster. Now, we're not talking about religious dogma. We're not talking, you don't have to believe in God and Jesus or Muhammad or whatever your religion teaches. It just is a belief in a higher power. And that to me is quite fascinating, that even science, which tends to not accept anything if it can't be proven, is now starting to accept the fact that there are different ways to prove different things, quantum physics, for instance, things like that. So I wanted to be able to share some of my experiences here and help people reach out and become in touch with their own inner spirit, learn how to advance on their journey. I've been in contact with a lot of people over the last 3 decades, and they've all asked me about how to do different things. I was fortunate enough in the late 90s, I sat in a development circle with a spiritual medium, and I learned how to do things like meditate properly. We'll talk about that in another video. But about how to meditate, how to get messages, how to interpret messages, what to look for, things like that. And I've been very, very fortunate to do that. And I want to share some of that with you here in this channel. Now, one of my main purposes is to let all of you know that I'm not special. Every single one of us has the ability to tap in through our own energy, our own spirit, with all of those energies and all of spirit that is out there. And I want to help you learn how to do that and not be intimidated by it. So that's one of my goals with this. So we're going to be exploring a lot of different things in this channel. We're going to be talking about traditional religions versus spirituality, for instance. I want to talk to you about meditation. I want to talk to you about how to ask, how to ask for messages. I want to help you learn how to interpret those messages. Let's talk about, a lot of people are afraid of opening themselves up because they're afraid that they'll leave themselves open to evil spirits. So I want to talk about that as well. So I hope that you'll join me on this journey. I look forward to sharing a lot with you. Please subscribe, like, share the video. Sometimes on YouTube it can be hard for people to find different things. So if you find any of these videos informative, if you're resonating with anything here, I do ask you very much to share them, and I look forward to our growth together. Thanks very much, and I can't wait to share more with you. See you next time.